At the conclusion of his holy war, Paul Atreides holds absolute power over the Imperium. His fanatical legions have scoured the universe, leaving 61 billion dead and entire planets sterilized by atomic fire in his name. Beyond the reach of his armies, Paul's dominance is anchored in his prescience, an innate ability to map out the most likely futures before they actually materialize. Yet in the shadows of this dictatorship, a desperate coalition of the surviving elites, the political strategist Irulan, the genetic engineering Tleilaxu, and the plotting Bene Gesserit are assembling to orchestrate a coup. They face a seemingly insurmountable problem. Mounting a traditional rebellion is mathematically impossible against a target who already knows your exact plan. To dethrone him, this alliance has to solve the ultimate paradox. They have to figure out a way to spring a trap on a god who sees everything coming. Paul sits centered on a branching timeline. When hostile forces approach, his mind predicts the attack vectors and exposes them before troops mobilize. Direct strikes, blockades, and poisons all fail. Physical threats fade into nothing because his vision automatically preempts them. The only viable strategy is to hack the mechanical rules of his foresight. To win, his enemies have to locate and exploit the hidden blind spots within his own visions. The conspiracy is an exercise in structural sabotage, designed to turn the Emperor's divine gifts into a weapon aimed at his own throat. To even begin plotting, the conspirators first have to become completely invisible to their target. This diagram illustrates the mechanics of a prescient shield. The large central dot represents Paul's sightlines, projecting forward until they hit a thick barrier of static surrounding the conspirators. This shield is generated by Edric, a spacing guild navigator. Navigators consume massive doses of the spice melange to guide ships through space, which grants them a limited form of prescience. When two prescient minds overlap, they create an oracle fog that violently scrambles the stronger visions of someone like Paul. Paul is entirely aware that a plot is forming around him, but because of this fog, he cannot pinpoint the timeline, the methods being used, or the identities involved. By neutralizing his primary defense, the Alliance effectively locks an all-seeing emperor in a state of terrified, paranoid blindness. With the plotting phase secured, the conspirators launch their second phase, infiltrating the Atreides inner circle with psychological weapons designed to break his focus. They present him with a ghola, a resurrected clone grown from the corpse of his fallen mentor, Duncan, Idaho. This clone, named Hayt, shares Duncan's physical features, but carries none of his memories. The Tleilaxu engineer Hayt with hidden mental triggers, offering him purely as a calculated distraction. His very presence forces Paul to confront his deep, lingering guilt over his mentor's death. Simultaneously, the Alliance deploys Scytale, a face dancer. These assassins possess the ability to fluidly shift their physical form and mimic anyone. Scytale impersonates Paul's greatest love, Chani, to push him deeper into their snare. By overwhelming his emotional bandwidth with resurrected ghosts and shape-shifting lovers, the conspirators shatter his concentration. They ensure he cannot think clearly enough to dismantle the plot. The trap moves to its violent execution phase. The conspirators draw Paul out of his fortress and into the streets of Arrakeen to detonate a specialized weapon known as a stone burner. A stone burner is not designed for sheer explosive force or mass casualties. Instead, it emits a highly specific blast of radiation that permanently destroys soft tissue, instantly melting the eyes of anyone caught in the radius. This exact injury exploits a strict cultural loophole. Under Freeman law, a blinded warrior is considered utterly useless to the tribe and must be abandoned to the deep desert. The genius of the stone burner is that it bypasses his shields and targets his own fanaticism. By taking his physical sight, the conspirators force his fiercely loyal army to legally reject him as their messiah. While Paul is physically blinded in the streets, the Spacing Guild executes a simultaneous heist. Their operatives break the Atreides